to episode 3 of You Can't Say That, a weekly podcast and video show where we talk about anything and everything, including games, movies, sex, politics, Kesha, and whatever we want. But today is going to be only Kesha. My name is Luke Hibbard. Joining me is Stephen Tonkin, Craig Barnes, and Jared Boosh. If you like what we do, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, leave us a comment, and give us a thumbs up. That'd be cool.
No hateful comments, though.
No,
No.
we just couldn't handle that.
No,
No.
You'll break our
And
hearts.
put all your money into the Patreon we make. All of it.
So, yeah, we've got a few things to talk about. As usual, we're going to go, each of us have brought a topic, so we're just going to go around and talk about each one of those for a little while. So we're going to start with Jared's topic, which is the Kesha debacle that is happening currently.
Her songs.
Oh my God, I love her songs. It's so good. Before we get into the whole thing about the Kesha lawsuit, I'd first of all just like to say that Kesha's music is my guilty pleasure. I love it. It's
So you're a fan. Jared's a fan.
Yep.
Craig.
She can't spell properly. $sign is not an S.
That's true.
It is when you're rich.
She don't care.
She ain't rich enough.
She Keisha.
She'll get rich again.
So we've got 2 haters here and 2 lovers here.
Yeah, so it balances out, really.
I know all the lyrics to... What was it? What was the big hit she had?
She's
TikTok.
had a few.
What's
But
the one where
anyway,
she just talks about her getting really drunk?
that's
Yeah,
all of
you'll
them.
have to be more specific.
Righto, Jared. Explain your topic.
Okay, so basically, now I don't know every little detail that's going on, but basically there's a court case. Kesha is suing Sony, I believe it is, who own the contract to her, or who own her, whatever contract, for 6 albums, I think it is, 6 more albums. She's trying to get out of it because she claims that her producer at the time, I don't even remember this dude's name. Dr. Luke. Sounds made up, but it's probably right.
It's not me. Although I am a doctor.
Apparently raped her, and among other things. And so she's trying to get out of this this record contract for 6 more albums with Sony. Now, she hasn't been able to provide proof of the rape, so I don't have an opinion on whether or not it happened, whether or not this dude's guilty, and if he is and she got raped, then obviously that's terrible for her. But what I don't agree with is that she wants to get out of this contract with Sony, even though they've said there's been no proof, and they've said that they'll give her a different producer. So I don't understand why she still needs to get out of the contract.
This is something that I didn't realize. I didn't know. I knew everything up until the fact that Sony has offered her a different producer.
Yes.
That
I believe that is the case. I've heard that from a few sources. So I don't know 100% everything. So I could be mistaken about some things, but
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure that is the case.
So again, my understanding of the whole situation was that she allegedly she'd been raped by her producer, and she was suing Sony to get out of the contract, like you've just said. But all I heard was that Sony had decided not to relinquish the contract.
Yes.
I didn't realize that there had been another offer made to give her a different producer, which would seem to be like that would...
Well, it's worse than that, because I read up on it a bit, because I have seen the articles lately and just had dug a bit deeper. She actually admitted under oath that she has never had sexual intercourse with him, and he never tried to rape her. So
Or
under
give her
oath,
drugs.
Or give her drugs. So
See, I didn't even know that.
And that was like 3 years previous? Or
supposedly it was when they first started working together.
Oh, see, that's hard though, because what if it happened after?
Well, then she...
As in this is when she reckons the incidents occurred. And they asked her under oath, have you ever had sexual intercourse? Has he ever offered you drugs? And she said no.
Well, yeah, I didn't know about any of that. But basically, I just don't agree that she should be able to get out of the contract because she hasn't provided proof. And it may very well be true, the dude's scum if it is. But no proof, and Sony are willing to give her a different producer. But everyone on Facebook seems to be just like going nuts about like just sharing all these memes and stuff about if you're...
Free Kesha!
How would you feel if you were raped and had to then go to work, forced to go to work with the dude who raped you? And it's like, well, that's not even the case as far as I'm aware.
No, this is typical Facebook internet shit.
Yeah. Well, so this could be... This is a few different topics. I mean, are we talking about situations where this has happened before? Because I know there's plenty of times where men have been wrongly accused of rape, and then later the woman has come out and said, oh, no, that actually didn't happen, after the guy has already served a lengthy sentence.
Yeah, that happens.
But the other topic here is people, white knighting this kind of shit on Facebook and not really understanding what's going on. I mean, I'm obviously someone that doesn't know all the details and the minutiae of the situation, but again, I'm not out there posting shit all over Facebook. I don't have an opinion. How could I have an opinion?
Yeah.
So
You're not the judge or anything. You're not jury. You're not sort of deeply involved in the case.
That's just my biggest complaint is the way people are reacting to a court case where there's been no proof. I mean, what if she is
how
lying?
did it go to court if there was no proof? Like, how does that even
You
happen?
can sue anyone
you sue
for
anyone
anything.
or like charge anyone, and it has to go to court.
Right.
Like
Yeah, the weird thing is that you think is she
Like, but what
is
didn't she have?
Court's the place where they bring the proof.
But wouldn't she have a lawyer that's like, you don't have any proof? Like, you're not going to win this case?
he still gets
she's
paid,
got the money,
maybe.
yeah.
I guess.
Maybe
I
he's
don't know.
like, fine.
Hey, he's a lawyer for Kesha. It's publicity, I suppose.
Yeah. No,
But
Especially since the way everyone's handling it, everyone's on Kesha's side. So
didn't she try and get out of the contract before she made the allegations?
possibly.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird to me. Like she's
Well,
accusing
that's
him of
pretty
rape.
natural, though. Like, let's say, again, we don't know for sure, but let's say she was sexually
Yeah.
assaulted. Probably the first thing she would do is try and get out of the contract before maybe taking the whole thing to court. I think that's pretty natural progression. So
But there's just so many inconsistencies with her. Like under oath, she says one thing, and then under oath again, she says something else. So it's a lot of inconsistency. But that's
So we know for sure that she's a liar, but what is she lying about?
exactly.
Yeah. Well, she's definitely lying. Well, I mean, she says under oath when they questioned her, like, have you ever had sexual intercourse with him? She said no.
And this was very early on, like years ago. Did you say? Or
As in, she said the accusations happened. Because these accusations are like a year or two old.
Oh, yeah, they're a few years old.
They've
That's
been
why
going
she hasn't
for
been
a
releasing
while.
music.
Yeah.
right? Oh, I'd see that. I didn't know that either. I was just like, because I heard that she was writing music for other artists. I thought, oh, maybe she's just been doing that rather than releasing her own stuff. Not that I'm not a mega Kesha fan. I just like I have a couple of her albums or whatever.
You wake up in the morning.
Feeling like P Diddy. Hey, what up, girl?
The bottle of Jack.
Yeah, no, but the fact that if like she's making
My
accusations of
pussy
rape,
is
right?
slack.
Why would she go to court about the contract? Wouldn't she contact the police and file the rape charge if that's the issue she's after?
Yeah.
Like what? It
Well,
sounds like she's after.
Couldn't that have happened?
No charges have been lodged.
Oh, I don't know
At
about.
all.
I
She
don't
only
know
brought it
anything
up.
about that. But the court
When-
case
yeah.
has to happen if Sony won't relinquish the contract and she still wants to get out of it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
that has
what,
to
that's what the
happen,
court
regardless.
case is about.
Yeah.
And then this whole rape thing came up later, which to me, like, it's like, if you were raped, wouldn't you go to the police first? And that contract thing is a whole separate issue.
There's-
But why is she trying to go
There's many of cases of like women, or even men, who've been in situations for sexual abuse or domestic abuse where they've just been stuck. They say stuck as in like they don't go to the police.
It's actually very common.
It's very common. To
this
me,
case,
it still seems weird. Like you're in a bad situation, just move on. But like,
Well, a lot of
people are scared.
that's
a
the
lot-
thing.
a lot
Yeah,
of-
I'm not. I can understand it from like. I can understand why it happens, but at the same time, I don't understand. Does that make sense? Like it's.
Because they have a lot of power these days. Like, if a woman makes an accusation of rape, the first thing that happens
It's-
is
yeah,
they
it's-
go into protective custody.
Well, it's
not
almost
the
like
guy gets burned at
when
the
in
cross.
this situation, it's almost like guilty until proven innocent in a
pretty
way.
much. Which even then, it's guilty after proven innocent because people on the internet still think.
Yeah,
they're
like
guilty,
this
right?
Even if
dude.
they're proven like to be not guilty, they still get like stained as being bad people because then like they're like, oh, you've been proven like innocent, but then like people will still believe it's true and then just attack the person for the rest of their life.
It's
That's
just
happened
because
to
people are so uninformed. It's like it's so clear already. Like
just wanna hate.
like we're all. Well, I'm uninformed about this topic, but again, like there'd be so many people out there uninformed that are just
They just see memes on Facebook
like Kesha's being
and then have a
attacked.
100% opinion on the matter.
Memes are just memes. They're not truth. They're not facts.
They can be if truth is written in them.
I mean,
Black
if-
Science Man says it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
Black Science Man, it's true. But they're
love that
the
guy.
only true memes. And the Fields guys, they're true memes.
No, but like I said, I don't know. I don't have an opinion one way or the other,
Another.
on whether or not the dude's guilty. I just don't think she should be able to get out of the contract without proof, especially when they're offering her a different.
Do you
producer.
think that because of the negative publicity, Sony will relinquish the contract?
I don't believe so. No, 6 albums,
Yeah,
How many albums does she have so far?
2 or 3.
yeah, not many.
I feel like as an artist,
have you ever heard of someone signing an 8 or 9 album deal?
that sounds crazy. Like, as an artist, wouldn't you be like, fuck yeah, like you could release like?
Yeah, I think it is common
said.
for pop stars.
Really?
They because I'd say she probably signed like a 2-album deal or something straight up, and when they were really successful, they're like, well, we want you to do like 6 more, and she signed it, and then just later decided that she didn't want to do it.
Did she say where she wants to go? Like, did she want to come independent, go to another company, or retire?
If she has said, I'm unaware.
Okay, so we should have done our research.
No, it's
That's not important to what I want to talk about.
This is about the memes here, Craig.
Just not the memes, but the lols.
No, my biggest
LOL.
thing is the way people are 100% like just backing. Like this dude will have a bad rep for the rest of his life, regardless of whether or not he did it.
I think she should go to jail for the false rape charge. I think the evidence.
So you're
clear.
100% she is lying.
lied about it. To me, admitting under oath that it was that he.
Well, where
never
was
had
that
sex-
proof from? Like, where did you see that?
That was online, man. It's court transcripts.
90%?
It's all across. No, other heaps of sites, man. Like
The main
Just
footage.
asking where.
I can't remember. A couple of
'Cause
different websites.
TMZ has one of it, and TMZ is not the best source, but
One
but
of
it's
the
literally
worst.
it's literally footage of her under oath
If it- yeah.
saying it. Whether or not it comes from TMZ, it's literally
How old is this footage? Do we know?
It's around the same time. Like
Right.
this, like it's
I think it's decently old. It's when it first went to court because the fact that it's been dragging on 2 years in the court.
Yeah, they
And
take
it's
a
only
while.
just sort of that's the thing. It's only just it keeps coming up every so often.
Yeah.
It hits the news.
It's
But
big right now because they reached a verdict, I believe. And they told her
that
no.
they're not going to. Yeah, that's
They're
right.
They're
yeah.
not going to get her out of the contract. So
But to me, if she wanted out of the contract, going to make this false accusation, like you stay in this guy for life, potentially sending him to jail, and I think that's wrong.
course
Like
it's
that is not just a tool you can use to get out. I think it belittles people who have actually been raped, lying like that, and it's just a scumbag move.
It's
yeah,
good.
if it's true, then yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's how this is. It's such a hard thing to know because
We don't know which way is true.
we really don't know which one is true. Maybe she at the time she made, like she said under oath, that she hadn't been sexually assaulted by this guy. Maybe for some unknown reason she felt scared to come forward. I don't know. Like
she was gonna
again,
lose
like
the
you
contract or something.
that
happens.
does happen.
She doesn't have bodyguards. I don't know. To me, like how far can you believe someone? I think that's stretching it.
I just know. I think I'm on the same page as you. It sounds to me like she was just using this as a way to try and get out of this contract, which she's regretted signing. Maybe because, it's not going to make her as much money as if she went independent or went with another contract. So I sort of tend to agree. It sounds like that's the case, but we just really don't know. And
I guess you can, unless you're the person who's the victim or supposed victim or the person supposed rapist.
Yeah.
Either of those two, they're the only ones who ever know the truth.
Yeah.
In every case. So.
But again, it's like this. It does happen a lot where women accuse men of raping them, and then these guys go to jail, unable to prove themselves innocent, because that's what it becomes. Like when you get accused of rape and there's no witnesses, it's your word against theirs, and it's like most of the time, unless the girl comes clean, it's like you're going to jail.
But that's the thing. Like, I guess I don't know if the internet's made that worse or more common, because obviously they had lynch mobs back in the day where that would occasionally happen, where it's like that people just go crazy.
They burn people alive.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think it's more common now?
It definitely seems to be, because it's so much more. It's so much easier
People
to
want
just
to hate. People want to attack someone. Someone sees something bad. Everyone wants to be a knight or a white knight or anything, and just be like, that person's bad. I'm going to just.
Yeah, it's just so much easier to
Straight
publicly voice your opinion now, which is not in my opinion, I'm not saying is a good or a bad thing, but because of that ability through social media, it's just easier for people to, without really knowing any facts or being able to form a proper opinion, just get on there and start spouting shit.
Plus, it's a good way to have other people on your, like, say, friends list who agree with you to look good in front of them.
Because let's be honest, there's like, I'm not going to lie, making a post on Facebook or Instagram or something like that and getting likes is a good feeling. Like, let's be honest here.
I like it.
That's why else would you post something on these social medias? You want to get people's attention. So
I guess I'm sort of odd one out. It's not a big thing. Like occasionally. But
Do you post?
have you ever
haven't
posted?
posted-
Have you ever posted something on Facebook ever?
a couple times.
Yeah,
but
so
that's what I mean. But
that
I
was
guess
that was a loaded question. Yes, you have. And the
but it's
reason
not a big thing.
the reason that you're posting is because you want people to see what you're posting. That's the whole point. I'm not saying it's a inherently bad thing, but because there is
But
that
you're scum of the earth.
pretty much scumbag.
You want those likes.
No,
Like, you need, like a fucking line of cocaine, you addict.
Yeah, because of that, because it is people want to post things on Facebook and get attention because of it, people just take it too far and start voicing opinions that they really shouldn't or don't really know anything about the subject matter just to get people to like or, comment on their posts.
That's the part of
they're not really thinking about the consequences of their actions. Like, it's really damaged this guy. What's his name? Dr. Luke, did you guys say?
Yeah, I honestly don't think that's his real name.
That's what
He
he's
could
going
be
to
a
go.
doctor for all we know.
And Luke very well could be his real name.
Yeah, so.
Oh, were you seriously, guys? You were just making that up? You
No,
didn't say
that's his
No,
name.
I think
That's like his
okay.
producer
That's
name
what
or
I'm going to
whatever.
call him.
But yeah,
Have you ever wanted to be Dr. Luke?
it's well, yeah. Not
probably,
smart enough,
probably
though.
best not to use that name now.
I wonder if he's actually a doctor.
He's a gynecologist.
He could have a doctor
He's a doctor in Beats.
of beaten Kesha.
Him and Gray.
Mate,
I thought that was Chris
He's
Brown.
innocent.
you can't say that.
It's okay, he's innocent. So these are all jokes here.
Well, that's the other thing as well. It's like Chris Brown,
And people still love him, especially
Yeah.
women. Weird.
is that?
But there was proof of that.
Is that
She showed,
okay?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, yeah.
Do you guys think that's okay that this guy still has a successful career, even though
It definitely went downhill for a while.
sure?
And basically, it depends on, and I don't know this, did he do any time?
No,
Does anyone
He's
know?
famous. Of course he didn't
Community
do time.
service or something like that.
Is that
Because
like a free
it's-
concert that's actually paid for?
It's very likely Apple presents
That was
Chris
in
Brown.
the hood, man. Like, he could have got shot there. Like, it's dangerous.
Basically, if someone does their time, their service to society or whatever, whether that be jail time or an appropriate amount of community service, depending on their crime, I think once they've done that, they should not be held accountable for what they've done before.
Really?
Yes,
I wouldn't say blanket that's the case because
Other crimes, to me, like,
it's like
otherwise, what's the point of the time?
keep them away from people.
Well, yeah, that's great. But what if
if you murder or rape someone?
Well, that's the thing. I think the time for that should be life.
but it's not always life.
No, but
and life isn't technically life.
no,
25
but
years or
I
something.
will personally, if you kill or rape someone, obviously if you're a soldier in a war or something, then obviously not. But if you
Sure.
murder or rape someone, then I feel that your service to society should be for life.
I think
So
it should
no,
be
there's
death
no,
penalty,
there's,
personally.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the crime. Like if you come home and catch your spouse cheating and you, in a fit of rage, kill them, I don't think you should get the death penalty.
Well, that's what I mean.
But if you
I
go
would
out
reserve
and
it
hunt some stranger and then kill them, sure.
I would reserve it for very serious crimes like school shootings where they busted the person in the act. To me, it should be death penalty if they don't kill themselves. Like, to me, that's, you've got it on camera. It's out in the open. They've killed people.
I agree. Just because, not to punish them, just simply to get them out of society because
They're too far gone, like-
they've obviously damaged. Like they can't be.
I don't think I agree with that. I don't think I necessarily agree with the death penalty in general. I just think
Not
that
even
like
really
I
bad
think for
cases.
extreme cases.
I don't think killing should warrant killing.
But then again,
That's
like,
just my
if you want to just
philosophy.
be like really like sadist and just be like, no, I just want them to suffer for the rest
Sure.
of their lives,
Well, yeah. If,
rather than
Well,
just
they don't
a
really
clean
suffer
death.
for the rest of life, do they? They live rent free.
Some
Sure,
people
they
actually,
have their
Yeah, you would've
freedom.
been like-
Sure, they have their freedom taken away, but it's not exactly what I would call suffering.
Some people enjoy that life in there, like being a kingpin, walking around beating people up. They like you really hard, and some people definitely do not. But
also, I don't agree with that because in those prisons they have a level of freedom and control, but all I'll say is I don't think killing warrants killing. That's all I would say. Is that I don't know what the alternative is, but I just don't agree that killing.
blast them into space. Without a suit.
I think that might be death.
Well, if we made a moon colony,
Send
maybe you
them
could
back into-
set the moon up
There's
as
a
a
book about
prison.
that, where the moon is a penal colony.
Might read that. What's it called?
The moon is a harsh mistress. I think it is.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Awesome.
Sponsored by the author of that book.
It sort of reads out like Australia though. comic colony. And then she
What if
becomes...
Australia is the moon?
natives.
No, I think if you go and shoot up a high school and you kill 10 people and you don't kill yourself, or whatever, they catch you, then I think, death penalty, because you've done this irreparable damage to society, and then it's unlikely that you'll ever rehabilitate.
Sure, and I don't think that's my idea of, say, locking people up for the rest of their lives, literally the rest of their lives, is not to try and reintroduce those people into society. They do not deserve it at all. I just don't agree personally. This is just a personal philosophy of mine that I just don't think that, I just think that that's, again, like, you killed someone, well, we'll kill you then.
Well,
it's like, killing is bad, obviously, so the penalty for doing a bad thing is that bad thing. Just doesn't make sense to me.
I see where you're coming from, and in a lot of cases I agree with that. Like, I don't agree with the eye for an eye thing, but that's not what I think this is. I think that, like, okay, you want to lock them up for the rest of their lives. Well, that's taxpayers' money.
Sure, it's
For the
taxpayers'
rest
money
of their life, and they might live 80 more years.
Again, I don't know. I'm not saying I know what the solution is, and probably the current solution, because we don't have the death penalty here in Australia.
That's correct.
So well, to you guys, but the current solution probably isn't the best, but
It's tricky. I think it should be reserved for those extreme cases, serial killers and people who just go nuts and things like that.
It's a pretty divided...
Like I said, if you murder someone in a crime of passion, I don't believe you should get the death penalty. In fact, the 25 years probably
Not for that.
probably would be enough. And after that, I agree that they should be then not like wiped clean to the point where everyone forgets it, but I don't think people should be able to reuse that in judgment against them.
I don't know. See, I still don't think with that. I don't think I necessarily agree with. What about pedophiles? It's like they serve their time, they get out, and then they have to be on all these. They try and reintroduce them into society, but obviously they have to be on these special watches and things like that where they're kept in check, and they live with that for the rest of their lives. And when they're introduced into society, all the neighbors are notified and all that sort of stuff that this guy is an ex-pedophile, even if it was 20 years ago or whatever. I think that's justified for that sort of crime. You like, even though you get out of jail and you may have the chance to be reintroduced into society, I don't agree that that should ever be wiped clean and people should ever give you the same level of respect that you once got before.
I agree, because it's not a crime of passion. You're not likely to have rehabilitated.
But then pedophile, with the laws the way they are, that can actually... There's a big difference between someone who's a serial pedophile in a real fucked up way and someone who might have been a bit older and fucked a girl who was 15 or something, was close to 16.
Yeah.
To me, they're very different. Like, to one,
hugely,
you made a mistake. You should maybe spend a couple of years in jail. You shouldn't have done that. But then I think you should be free. Serial pedophile, death penalty.
The ones in
I wouldn't complain if the death penalty was introduced for a serial pedophile, but in that case, I'll probably think just removed from society. Not necessarily locked up like solitary confinement for the rest of their life, but just removed. And I don't know the exact answer to that, but I can't like the idea of them coming back into society.
No. It's happened before, though. It
happens
come back and re-offend straight away, and it's just like...
Yeah. And so maybe the death penalty is the only way to do that. So I wouldn't complain if they introduced that for a serial pedophile, someone who's clearly sick and is not likely likely to be rehabilitated.
I have to be honest, if there was a serial pedophile and they tried to reintroduce him back into, well,
I guess
that person,
girls,
but let's say they tried to reintroduce that person back into society, and instantly they were like, they went back to their old ways. In that case, I would probably have the opinion that you probably should have given that guy the death penalty. If that's the case, if he couldn't have been rehabilitated, maybe he should. Look, it's such a grey area.
It is, and I don't think you can rehabilitate someone who actually is willing to go out and rape a child.
It's also the same just for rape in general. Like, it's like when people say teach people not to rape, and it's like just teaching them to do it. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it, and if they do it once and then try and do it again, then you just lock them away.
But that's the thing. If someone does it once, or like if someone does it a few times even, and then they go to, serve a life sentence and 25 years or whatever, then get reintroduced into society, do it again. Look, honestly, at that point, in hindsight, it would have been better to give that person the death penalty. I think, even though I still don't agree with an eye for an eye sort of thing, it's just that person was then given an opportunity to destroy more lives. And
I just don't think it is an eye for an eye thing, because that's revenge, basically.
Yeah.
This is a way to fix society.
Just stop it. Remove people who have just hit that point where there's mistakes, there's things you shouldn't have done, and then there's just going beyond that. And you know it's wrong, you've been punished, and you still keep doing it.
Like if you make a mistake at work, a little mistake at work, you might get chewed out or something. But if you do something that warrants you getting fired, then you're removed from the business.
yeah,
It's basically the same principle.
it's the same principle, but
One's a bit harsher, but
Yeah, obviously it's not at all the same thing. But it's like you're part of a bigger thing and you're bad for that thing.
yeah,
You should be removed from it.
cleaning the infection out.
Yeah,
But
basically.
like I know what you mean, Luke. It's not an easy decision because there are cases where people get locked up innocent and it comes out later, which is why I think it should be reserved for very clear cut,
yeah. Well, that's
very serious
that's right.
cases.
That's the thing as
But,
well. It's like that these people could have faced the death penalty and could have been given the death penalty, but then later, like 20 years later or 10 years later, it turns out
And that happens.
yeah,
That's why I don't think
and
it
if we had the death penalty, then we could have put innocent people to.
But yeah, like Stephen says, it should be reserved for those clear-cut, like video footage evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they just keep getting caught. It's like it's beyond the fact that it could be a frame.
I guess I just wish that there was a better way to remove these people from society completely without, I suppose, costing us so much money.
like the ice skate.
It would just, I guess, it's just there's something unsettling to me about ending a person's life.
I agree.
Even if they destroyed many lives, yes, get rid of those people, I guess, in whatever way you can. But if, let's say, if there was a choice between locking that person up for the rest of their lives without it costing taxpayers money versus giving them the death penalty, I just think that the more civilized solution is to lock that person up.
Yeah, ideally, but obviously there's the two problems where there's no way to do that cost-free, and there's always the chance that they will somehow get out,
Have you ever thought about
even if
this,
it's illegally.
Luke? Like you're saying, you think it's more civilized to lock them up, but is that because you think it's more civilized, or you just don't want the guilt of having been involved in having someone executed? Because I think, to be honest, that's why a lot of people don't like the death penalty, because they're scared. They don't have the courage to accept that. I mean, with the death penalty, I wouldn't like it, but I would have to, you'd have to take the fact that you're involved in this because it's for the good of society, I think, in some cases.
Yeah.
And I don't like it, but I'd have to take in the fact that I'm involved in
I
this.
don't think it's so much that I have reservations. I mean, obviously I do have major reservations, as everyone should, when it comes to life and death and ending someone's life. I mean, that should not be something that people want to do.
Steal a loaf of bread, get your hand cut off.
See, that's extreme.
But I don't think I'm the kind of person that is like, if pushed to the point, I don't think I'm the kind of person that would hesitate in doing the right thing when it came. Let's say someone broke into the house and they were clearly going to end my life and my partner's life, but I had the chance to end theirs first. I would take that chance. And it was clear cut and I knew what I had to do. I wouldn't be scared of doing that, even if it meant me going to jail for 10, 15, 20 years.
Which I think's messed up. That's a whole nother topic.
Sure,
though.
that's a whole nother topic. I'm not the kind of person that is like, put in a situation like that. I wouldn't have those sort of reservations. I just feel that, again, that killing or like pedophilia, rape, essentially destroying someone's life, I don't think that warrants death. So to me, as I said before, I don't feel that death warrants death.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Which is fair enough. I mean, obviously, you obviously don't. That's not your reason for opposing it. For some people, I get the feeling that's why they oppose it. Not for moral reasons. They just don't want that on their conscience, and I think that's a bit cowardly. Like admit it. If you say I'm afraid to have that on my conscience, being involved in that, just admit it. Don't hide behind for the good of society or anything like. Some people do that, and it shits me.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying for sure.
Back on topic, basically, I think if there is video evidence that Kesha is lying about this, then I think she should do jail time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this dude will have, regardless of the outcome, this dude's reputation is ruined. And you know, like
Just imagine, like the way that the internet is at the moment, getting behind Kesha. Imagine the internet if she actually went to jail. They would just the internet would just lose its collective mind.
That's happened a couple times. People have gone on, they've defended someone. It's come out that person's lied, and then after that person has, you know, they've been caught lying. Or they've come out and said, I lied, I falsely charged someone. They still go after the person who was let off in trying to say, you did this, you're guilty. And it's like, you know, the court has said they've proven them innocent. And and not because of lack of evidence, but because of the fact that this person's, you know, taken back and said, I lied. And the internet's still going after this person. It's like, it doesn't stop.
Yeah,
like,
I saw a post today because it doesn't matter like if it's true or false. Like you still got raped, and it's like it's like they don't care about the facts or what actually happened. It's just they want what they want to be right.
They don't realize, like, because I've heard the same thing where some people are like, you should never doubt a woman who says she was raped.
Listen,
and it's like there's someone else on the other end of that whose life is possibly being destroyed. Like, you know, you can't just put people in jail without proof.
Like, obviously, rape is a hugely serious thing, and if it's true, then, you know, all the sympathy for the victim and all the punishment to the person who did it. But we just don't know if that's the case. And being so external to the situation, I mean, I don't know anyone involved in this, and I don't think anyone I know knows anyone who knows anyone who's involved in this. Yeah. So being that far away from the situation, like, I just don't think I can have an opinion, and there's just no point really being like, oh yeah, this is definitely true. That's definitely true, because I just don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you can draw your opinion, and as long as you
can have a belief, but I just can't warrant going, yes, this is 100% what happened. And this should happen.
Well, an opinion is a belief, so yeah, it's not a fact where you're like, this definitely happened.
Like,
as long as you don't.
Obviously, you can have your opinion, like whether you believe it or not, but I just don't think you should be treating that opinion as fact.
Yeah.
When you're this far cut off from it, and that's everyone on my friends list.
I guess it's up to the court. They're the ones who are gonna.
Yeah.
But it's just such a strange situation, because now that this has ended, she's never formally lodged rape charges against him or anything of that sort. What happens from here? Like, does she just appeal the contract thing? But then what about, like, this guy? He can't be found innocent because he was never charged. So what happens to him?
Reputation's ruined.
Yeah, he never gets a chance to be officially acquitted because he was never charged.
He can change his producer name and continue producing.
Apparently,
Lucas.
Yeah.
Dr. Lucas. Professor Luke.
Yeah, no, I guess it sucks. Like, when you think about it like that. Yeah, legally he can't actually be acquitted of these charges because, according to you, they were never.
As far as I know, she's never once lodged it. It's all about, she's just brought it into this.
She's just all she's done is accused him of rape, gone to court with Sony to get out of the contract.
I believe so.
And she hasn't actually.
She's used that as part of the court case. I believe so. Yes.
Right.
And again, I'm not 100% informed. Anything I've said could be slightly or completely wrong.
Look, I mean, yeah.
And, you know, if our viewer spots something that's different, that's not right, then
keep it to yourself.
We don't want to know about it.
If our listener is Kesha, then
so we can tell you.
I think she has better things to do than worry about what we think.
It's true. Yeah, like you're
I'd hope so.
She's got 6 albums to write.
Better get to it. All right, let's
see if her liver survives.
Let's move on to another topic.